Alright, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to Madrid Hub again. I'm your host, Dr. Jota. Today, Monday, we have some pretty good news for you all, guys, because today Mbappe has given an interview to Radio Monte Carlo, and now we know every single thing about the signing of Mbappe for Real Madrid and what happened last summer when he was about to leave Paris Saint-Germain and what happened for him not to sign eventually for Real Madrid. I mean, what happened with that? What is his own version, what is his statement about that, and what in reality happened for him not to sign for Real Madrid, because he was pretty close, but at the end something happened and he finally remained in PSG for different reasons and purposes. So we will be talking about that, and of course we will be talking about the horrible game against Espanyol, another defeat from the Carlo Ancelotti side, for different reasons, different circumstances. But let me tell you what, Carlo Ancelotti has pretty clear that this Real Madrid has to improve significantly to be fighting for La Liga and for the Champions League, because otherwise we have nothing to do this season. And of course, we will be talking about the latest rumors in regards to another possible target of Real Madrid. He is called Benjamin Sesko, is a Salzburg player, and they are calling him the new Erling Haaland just because he is scoring a lot of goals, assisting. He's pretty much, he's a striker, super young guy, 18 years old. So we will have to track this guy because according to some information in Bild in Germany, they are claiming Real Madrid is very interested in signing this player. So let me get into the details, and the first thing we will have to talk about, it is the horrible game against Espanyol yesterday, just because I couldn't upload any video talking about and analyzing the game because it was horrible. It was so late as well, so I prefer to wait for today to talk about that. The game, the analysis I have to deliver, it is pretty negative, and of course, as every single player, as every single person within Real Madrid, and I agree with that. It was a horrible game, super bad performance, and the problem here is now we are getting into a deep crisis because it's the third consecutive game we are not winning, and that is completely unacceptable. And of course, it is completely, it's something that you can't understand, just because right after the super, incredible, spectacular beginning that we had in this season, for any reason, man, just overnight, now Real Madrid struggles every single game. It was not only against Villarreal, it was also against Sheriff, which to me was the first wake-up call that we had. And yesterday against Espanyol, we finally lost the game. It's the first defeat in the season in La Liga, and of course might be worse if when we come back right after the international break, the things go in the same way and we have to play against FC Barcelona, so it could be even worse. So the game against Espanyol was horrible just from the beginning, man. The tactical formation was pretty, disorganized. Nobody knew exactly what he was supposed to do. Every single player was completely lost. That is at least the sensation that I got from the game. They were completely misplaced. They didn't really know what they had to do. They didn't even know what was next. What was the plan before the game again? Before the goal of Espanyol, Real Madrid was pretty, controlling and dominating the whole game, having the ball, passing the ball with some ideas to go ahead and stuff. But the problem is, when Espanyol scored the first goal, what we could see, it was the players completely lost. They didn't even know what to do. They were like completely, unfocused, completely lost. They, were completely misplaced. We could see the David Alaba playing in very forward positions, completely out of position. Of course, Camavinga, he was completely lost as well. He was not holding the position in the midfield. He was all the time, moving forward. So we were conceding all the midfield of the pitch. It was for Espanyol. So although we were controlling and dominating the game, the ball position was 62% for us and 37% for Espanyol. Even with that, we were not controlling, in fact, the game. My opinion is we were having the ball, but we didn't really know what to do with that. I mean, Luka Modric is another key in this team, because if he doesn't know what to do, nobody else know what to do, right? And the problem is we have been seeing a Luka Modric completely lost over the last games. I don't know whether he's completely out of shape, he's tired, or what is going on with Luka Modric, but it's not definitely the player he used to be, right? I mean, Luka Modric, Casemiro, Toni Kroos, they are completely different players versus when they were playing for Zinedine Zidane. It was a completely different story, right? Right now, I don't know if they don't know how to implement the transition in the midfield. Carlo Ancelotti is trying to put new players that don't really understand what we have to do, or he's trying to mix the players in the midfield, Luka Modric, Toni Kroos, but also Camavinga, Fede Valverde as well. And I don't know is that combination the responsible of our bad performances, man. But what is pretty clear is that nothing is happening, nothing is working right now, and of course we will have to improve significantly to keep moving forward, and of course to keep fighting for La Liga. So Espanyol was very organized, very well settled down on the field. They did know what to do and what they had to do. Actually, they never fought. They never tried to get the ball and pass the ball and keep the possession and stuff like that. They just gave the ball to Real Madrid, and the only thing they had to take care of, it was pretty much to be very well settled down and storing a lot of and packing all the players in the middle, within, in interior positions, so Real Madrid could never create any danger. And as soon as they got the ball, they built up the counter-attacks, and that's why they scored the 2 goals. And that was the way for them to score the 2 goals that, allowed them to win the game at the end. So to me, it was the same thing with Villarreal and Sheriff Tiraspol. They know exactly how to fight against Real Madrid. They know what they have to do. It is, okay, given the ball, just take care of your position and tactical order and stuff like that. Keep the tactical order, keep the defense in check, and that's it. That is all what you have to do when it comes to win to Real Madrid, and that is what they did, and finally they got the 3 points just because of that. So Real Madrid has significantly to improve much more, and especially the counter-attacks, because when you have players like Camavinga, Vinicius Jr., Fede Valverde, super fast players, what you have to do is try to not to dispute the ball to the rival, but try to build attacks faster and quicker, and try to catch them by the back, catch them in surprise, and try to create more chances and big chances and more danger through the counter-attacks, not any other particular strategy or something like that. If you have the 62% of the possession of the ball, that means you are trying to take time to think about that and plan ahead and all this stuff, but that is not the kind of players we have in Real Madrid. The kind of players we have in Real Madrid are players for counter-attacks, super fast players, super top shape players. So there's no point in trying to play like FC Barcelona. There's no point at all. So to me, the best thing we have to do is try to take advantage from all these players, super fast players, and build up counterattacks much quicker and faster and sharper and things like that, right? So that is pretty much my overall analysis on the game against Espanyol. So now let's move forward and let's keep talking about the latest rumors on Benjamin Sesko, the Salzburg player, super young player, 18 years old, who has scored already in, let me tell you what, in 17 games, it was in 17 games, has already scored 7 goals and has assisted 4 times. And last year he scored 21 goals. He's actually 6'5", super tall guy, and they are saying that is the next Erling Haaland. And apparently, according to Bill in Germany, Real Madrid has been targeting the player over the last weeks, and apparently he might be interested in signing the player for the next year. Okay, let me tell you what. Although I don't have any doubt this player is a top player and is a very promising player and stuff like that, and more teams will be tracking and monitoring his evolution in this season and stuff like that, I don't think Real Madrid is really interested in this player, honestly. And the reason for that is because next year Kylian Mbappe and Erling Haaland will be the top targets for Real Madrid. That is number one. And then number two, you have to keep in mind all the players that we already have in the squad in those positions, very similar positions, like Vinicius Jr., Luka Jovic, Kylian Mbappe, Benzema, Rodrigo Goes, Hazard. So right now the attack of Real Madrid is so packed that it's completely impossible to keep signing more players. You know what I'm saying? First of all, we have to get rid of a bunch of them to keep signing more players, but the next two signings are going to be Kylian Mbappe and Erling Haaland, not any other super brand new or promising player like this Benjamin Sesko. I mean, there's no point for us. Even, the player is super affordable, man. His price, his market price is about 8 million euros, which is completely, affordable for Real Madrid. But the problem is, if you want to sign more players, you have to get rid of them, some of the players you already have, and then considering if that another brand new player or whatever you want to call it, it is doable for Real Madrid. Because if you keep signing players when you are already bringing in more super top big names, it is completely absurd, and there's no point in signing him if you already have players enough. Because what I'm assuming is, if Erling Haaland, for example, comes into Real Madrid, Benzema will go to the bench, or maybe Vinicius Jr. or Rodrigo go to the bench, or something like that. Something like that will happen. So what is the point in having a third forward in our squad? There's no point. You know what I'm saying? So to me, this is almost impossible. I'm not saying Real Madrid is not tracking and monitoring the situation with this guy, but to me, there's no point in signing another player like this. So let's see what happens. But the most important today, it is what we were told from Radio Monte Carlo. It was just the drop of the whole interview that will be released tomorrow, Tuesday, in France. But some of the newspapers and media has been releasing a drop, just an excerpt from this interview from Kylian Mbappe. And the most important for Real Madrid is that now we are listening to himself saying that this summer, the last summer, he told to PSG that he wanted to leave and he is not going to renew his contract with PSG. So that is exactly what we were waiting for over the last months, to hear from Kylian Mbappe that he wants to leave PSG, and now we know that. So there's no a single reason for me to think he's going to change his mind and he will finally remain in PSG. There's no point. So what is important from this interview for all los Madridistas all around the world is to understand that the player will keep trying to leave PSG, and of course next January is the next milestone for him to sign a pre-agreement or pre-contract with Real Madrid. Because what he says in this interview, it is pretty much that he said back in July, very early, back in July, he told the PSG board members he wanted to leave and he was not going to renew his contract with them. So what he was expecting, it was a positive response from PSG, because what he tried to do is to be sold for a good amount of money, so PSG could have money enough to look for another substitute or replace or whatever you want to call it, so to sign another big name or player. So that was the main purpose or intention from Kylian Mbappe, or at least what he says that he was trying to fix with and manage with PSG board members and stuff. But the main reason and the main intention that is important for us, for Los Madridistas, is the player is done in PSG. The player doesn't want to keep playing for Paris Saint-Germain and he wants to quit. He wants to leave. He wants out from PSG to play, assumably, in Real Madrid. So to me, what is the next milestone? What is the next point we have to look at? In my opinion, is January. January is going to be the deadline for Real Madrid to sign this player, because now that everybody knows that he wants to leave Paris Saint-Germain, there's no point in keep waiting for summer to sign this player. To me, he will be a free agent as of January, so that means Real Madrid will have to go ahead and sign the player before any other team try to sign him. I mean, we already know for Mbappe it's a dream come true to play for Real Madrid, right? So I don't have any reason to think that he will try to sign with another team. But of course, it is always a good idea to sign him ahead of anybody else and try to bring him in to Real Madrid to play for the next summer. So that is the good news I wanted to share with you all. And of course, as soon as we have the whole interview, I will share it with you as well. So now let me know your thoughts about that. Just comment in the section below. And of course, subscribe my channel, Real Madrid Hub.